Hello from a sunny but very windy and very cold day here in Central Portugal. A common theme of my videos lately has been the bonkers weather, and this video is no different. The weather is changing like crazy, and we even have a sun shower and a beautiful rainbow that appears later in the video. And I also have lots of work that I get on with on the pergola. I finish up a whole bunch of little things, and I take a trip into a local town to the shops, go to dinner up the mountain, and there's just a lot of fun stuff in this video. So I hope you enjoy this one. If you do, please give the video a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you again at the end. It's a gorgeous morning. I'm up early because I have loads to do on the pergola. And I also just wanted to say hello to this little guy. How's it going, Larry? Lovely morning. What's your plans for today? Good talking to you. So I've got lots of stuff to get done today. I'm really hoping to get the rafters in, or at least get the end one in and maybe one more. And I also want to do the other bottom of the pergola tower today. And if I can get those things done, I will be very, very happy. But there's all kinds of other little jobs to do as well. So I'm just gonna have some coffee, have some breakfast, and I'll be out working on this very, very soon. Actually, I'm back at it much sooner than expected. I still haven't had my coffee, still no breakfast. But I thought I would take advantage of the shadowy morning before the sun comes over the front of the house. So I've got the laser level out, and I'm just gonna mark some lines to measure upwards towards, so I can try to accurately place the rest of the rafters. The tricky thing is that the laser level line is quite difficult to see, so I would have had no chance once the sun came up, and marking this out is quite important. I could have done it with a long stick and a level, but I might as well do this. And we can see that my window is not level at all, but that's okay. Just adds another little quirk into the mix. So I don't exactly know yet where I'm going to place the rafters, and it looks like this one, oh, there's a line there. Okay, that's very useful. So now that I have these lines, I can just measure up from them, and it gives me a good sort of starting point. Let's just stick a line over there too, just for fun. So yeah, that's done. And now it's time for coffee and breakfast. Okay, I'm back. I've had coffee, I'm fed, and Larry is still hanging around on the front porch. How's it going? Any changes to your day? Anything new to report? Have you been on any adventures? Okay, so while I'm down here, I've got some cucumbers on the way, and all of my labels have actually rubbed off or faded away in the sun. So this is a tray, I think, of dill. Those are jalapenos over there. And we've got some more cucumbers. And we've got some red basil on the way as well. And I think these are tomatoes. So even though the garden anxiety is real, the overwhelm is there, it's nice to see seedlings popping up. And I'll be switching focus to the garden as soon as I finish the pergola. And I'm going to put a big push on the work today, starting by fixing a mistake. And the mistake is this. I don't know if you can see it clearly on the camera, but we've got some water rising up the bottom of the wood, and that's because I didn't leave enough space between the stones and the bottom of the post. I had planned to, but when I added in the stuff, I just didn't get the measurements correct. So I'm just gonna go around the outsides, chopping off maybe about 1/2 centimeter, and hopefully that'll solve this problem. So it's gone in to where the metal is, and so that's pretty good news, I think, because the metal will kind of protect the bottom of the interior of the post, and the outside where I think it's getting wet is gonna be high enough to not suck up the water through capillary action, or whatever it's called. All right, so that has done exactly what I was hoping it would do. And it's a really easy start to my morning. This project, or this fixing mistake thing, has been on my list of small jobs for a while. And so, job one done. Next up, let's get the last rafter attached. So I've done some measurements off camera, and I know the location of the final rafter, but as it turns out, and I shouldn't be surprised, the roof line isn't actually level, so there's quite a bit of space over on that side for the rafter, but on this side, it's gonna be pretty tight, and it seems like it'll be quite close up to the bottom of the tiles. So I don't know if I'll adjust it down a little bit and hope that nobody notices, just so I have the spacing even along the tiles to possibly fit a gutter. So I don't think I'll know exactly where I wanna place this thing until I make a hole, set the rafter inside, and then I can adjust it up and down and see if it's a noticeable difference. I'd much rather have everything in line with the bottom of the tiles than level, even though that's not ideal, but I just need to see how things work. It is unfortunate that my house is very wonky. I should know by now. I've measured a whole bunch of things off this house, and it is not straight in many places. It is not square, but she's got a lot of character, and you just have to work with what you got. So I've got the drill out. I'm gonna get my safety gear and make a hole. So I was just about to get into the work, and I noticed the noise of airplanes. And I looked over yonder, and it looks like we've got some fires, which seems very early in the year and is really quite concerning. Also, I was supposed to go for dinner tonight over in that direction in a village called Alcangusta. So yeah, I guess I'll just be paying close attention. Or maybe it's not planes, maybe it's that thing. So somebody is on some kind of a paragliding motorized vehicle soaring through the air, but that looks like fires. So no planes. Maybe it's a cloud? Maybe it's a cloud. So I checked the local app and there's nothing on there yet. I'll continue to monitor the situation. It doesn't really look like a cloud, but it also doesn't really look like an out-of-control fire, so it could be somebody's controlled burn. It's unusual to have it that high up in the mountain, but who knows what farms are up there. But it is kind of funny that I came out and heard an engine and immediately thought fire, because that's what happens. You hear low-flying planes and you immediately check your app because you know there's a fire around. However, who could have expected there'd be a motorized paraglider cruising by? Never seen that before. Looks like a lot of fun. It was not a fire airplane, so that's a good sign, but I'm going to continue paying attention to what's going on behind me because, I don't know, that looks like a pretty crazy cloud and it could actually be a small fire. So anyway, that was a little bit of excitement for the morning. Time to drill a hole. This is very satisfying. I'm hoping that I can get this rock out, and that's gonna be the exact space that I need to get the rafter in. It's very enjoyable. So I'm making some progress, but as you can see, there's a stone back here that I'd like to get out so the rafter can go into the wall more deeply. And then there's a bulgy part of this stone that could be in the way. I might end up having to move the rafter a little bit to the left, which I think will be fine. It's just a few centimeters and probably won't be noticeable. Otherwise, I'll have to chop off this entire side of the rock, which will be very difficult because I think the exact measurement of the rafter is somewhere around there. But I'm sure it'll all be fine, and I'm just gonna continue working away at this in preparation for putting the rafter end in there. So I've had a change of plans. I'm gonna leave that as is, which means the rafter won't be able to go in very far, but I'm afraid that if I take out the stone that's in there, it's going to possibly take out a stone on the other side of the wall as well. I don't know how far that stone goes. So instead, I'm going to focus on making a clear path for the rafter and then cutting it shorter. So first things first, I need to get this support piece off, and then I need to cut this olive tree branch, and it is a shame, but it's totally in my way. However, I think I can get away with chopping it here instead of chopping the entire thing off, and then possibly there'll be some regrowth that I can steer around the top of the pergola. So I have my camera perched very precariously in the tree. I'm hoping it stays put. So I'll unscrew these bits and then get out the chainsaw. Oops, wrong way. One. And hopefully when I do this, none of this moves, because if it does, that doesn't bode well. This thing is very solid, and that's a good sign. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So, next up, let's chainsaw. Okay, success. It's a shame to see this go. The cut could have been cleaner, but I feel like this wants to be more tree. So in the end, I think it's all going to be fine. And I thought while I'm up here, it would be a good idea to take a look over there and check out the fire cloud. I think it's just a cloud. Nothing to worry about. Okay, goodbye olive tree branch. You can go down there for now. And I guess I don't know for sure if this is going to work. It kind of seems like it's still going to be in the way. But I won't know until I chop the end off and stick it in the hole. So let's do that. So after many trips up and down the scaffolding, I've made things a little bit more precise. I had to shave off a little bit there. And I also had to butcher the end of the rafter just a little bit, or perhaps a lot, in order to get it to fit further into the wall. So I think what I'll do now is stain all this stuff, but then also give the rafter another coat of this, because it's going to need coats anyways, and I might as well do this next coat while it's on the ground, and I'll probably end up doing one final coat once everything is in place. So as usual, I'm doing things in a pretty unorthodox way, but I'm trusting my instincts, and I feel like this is going to work out okay. A few people have mentioned that perhaps a little aluminum T-bar that I want to use to fasten the other rafters into the wall might not be strong enough, and I tend to agree. What I'm probably going to do is just fasten them in, make the holes, and sort of set them in place. And then I might, I don't know, contact some friends of mine who do welding and see if they can make a piece that's similar out of steel. Or maybe I'll decide that it's strong enough. I think with the end rafters going into the wall, that sort of gives the whole thing quite a bit of rigid strength, and hopefully the rafters in the middle won't be inclined to sort of move around in the wind and stuff like that, because I suppose that's what would put a strain on the aluminum, which obviously isn't as strong as steel. So I've got some thinking to do on that one. At the moment, I don't have any steel pieces anyway, so I'm just gonna push on with what I'm doing. I haven't found anything in the shops that I think would be suitable, but it pays to have friends that weld, so I've got a few people in my life that could possibly make a piece to suit my needs. So that's really really good. So I'm gonna carry on staining this rafter, and then I'll let it dry while I enjoy some lunch. And after lunch, I'll stick it in place. So I've been busy staining. I've added some nails into the end so that it grips into the cement better. I've had some lunch, and I've also cut off a little bit more of the olive tree just to try to make space for the rafter. So it's time to put this rafter in once and for all, finally, at long last. But before I do that, I just wanted to report back that the cloud fire is no more. It was just a cloud after all. The paraglider is out of the sky, it wasn't a fire plane. And it's just a really beautiful day. It's a perfect day for working, the temperature's amazing, and I'm gonna push on with some more work after I get this in place and just see how far I can get. But getting this rafter in place is gonna be a big accomplishment for my day, and I'm excited to see how it all looks. So she's a nice snuggly fit, and it's quite close here as well with the olive tree, but I think it's gonna work because this is gonna come up about maybe 4 or 5 centimeters once I adjust things over there. So I've got a couple rocks here that hopefully I can use to wedge this thing into place. So I think that's good enough for now. I'm actually not going to cement it in today because it's supposed to rain quite a bit tomorrow. So what I'll do now, I think, is prepare all the stones for the other tower topper, and then I'll do all the cementing at the same time in 2 days when it's supposed to be dry. I'll just get to that in the morning, and it'll give it plenty of time to cure, hopefully. So let's go take a look at what this looks like from the bottom, and yeah, switch focus to chopping some stone. So I've spaced the rafters out to be more or less where they're gonna go. And you've already seen this before in my previous video, but it just feels very nice to have that rafter in place. And then I'll work on the rest very soon. But first, I'm gonna cut this stone into 4 pieces to use on top of the tower. I've already marked it out. And because it's getting late in the day, and because I've got plans later, and because there's a bit of a chill in the air, and because I love the snap so much, I'm gonna do it the fast way. Okay, the stones are cut. They're not yet cemented in. I'll do that in 2 days when I don't have the threat of rain. But I gotta say, it's been a very rewarding and I'd say successful day of work. So I'm gonna get myself tidied up and ready to go out for dinner. And because I think this place is gonna be quite spectacular, it's up on the top of the mountain. I think we'll be there for sunset, and I think it's quite a nice place. I'm gonna take you along with me because I think it's been a while since we've gone to dinner together. But before I get ready to go, I've got one more thing that's been bothering me that I want to do. And it's gonna make my mom pretty happy, I hope. So this thing here, I believe, is a weed. It's crowding out all these beautiful flowers, and it also means you can't see the front of the pergola. So it's been bugging me for a while. I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna try to get it out. I'm gonna try a little harder to get it out, so we can see the front of the pergola. I'll be back in 1 moment. Got the tiny shovel. Hopefully I can get this stubborn weed out using this. And around the rock. And when I remove this, it's going to allow me also to get into the front of the stonework, so I can start pointing it, which is another job I'd love to get done before the end of this video. What are you? This thing is out of control. More stones. this thing is a beast. So she was stubborn, but I got her, and I will also clear away the rest of the weeds in front of the house as well. Plant some more flowers, and just have a lovely little garden here. I want to put something else to climb up the other side as well. I don't know if I want to do more grapes or maybe some flowers. I haven't decided. I've already got jasmine growing on the side, grapes behind me, and I'd like something else possibly growing up the other pole. Possibly a flower, possibly fruit. I'm open to ideas, so please leave any suggestions in the comments. So it's an absolutely gorgeous early evening. I still got a few more things I'd like to do on the land, and then I'm going to get tidied up, and we're going to go to dinner. Good morning. Dinner was amazing. It was just lovely being up on the mountain, and I really like going to places I haven't been before. That village called Alcongusta is actually very beautiful, and they have a cherry festival every year that I'm definitely going to check out this year when it's on. So it's about 10 in the morning, and I've been meaning to get out and get to work for a while, but it's freezing. I'm double sweatered. I don't know what's going on with this weather. It's been absolutely nuts. So I have my cement premix all ready to go, but I've been hiding inside because I can't feel my hands. And before I get into the work today, I thought I would talk about yesterday, because even though it was gloomy and horrible and rainy for most of the day, I managed to get a few things done. I actually ended up repotting a whole bunch of seedlings, and I did it inside the house, which might seem a little bit nuts. I currently have some new seedlings on the go in the windowsill, and I have an army of pots on the ground. But I did that because I've noticed that my tomatoes in the greenhouse are being munched by probably snails. So I didn't want to stick everything out there. Plus, I knew we had a cold snap coming. So the house is filled with pots. It's ridiculous, but it was quite an enjoyable flurry of work, and it's something that needed to be done, so I feel very relieved about that. Since it was gloomy and rainy, and since I was finished with my work on the seeds, I decided to go to a nearby town that has a hardware store that I quite like. And while I was wandering through the streets, I noticed this amazing tree with beautiful flowers. I don't know what it is. If any of you guys out there know, please leave a comment and let me know. But it was climbing along a pergola. It looked great, and it could be something that I might add to my own pergola. Let's see. The staff in the shop I went to are really great, and I was recommended them for plumbing supplies. So I went in there and the guy set me up with everything that I need to hopefully finish the taps for the shower, which I'll get to another time. But it was really interesting. I bought some plumbing tools and I'm excited to get on with that. And then when I got back, it was still gloomy and miserable, and my plan was just to hide inside with the cats, do some video editing, cook a nice meal. But at some point the sun came out, and when I came outside I saw the most beautiful sun shower and a spectacular rainbow over the house. It was really amazing to see that. I've seen it once before, and yeah, it was really beautiful. The light was amazing and I caught it on film, so I was happy about that. And so that was my day yesterday. It was very productive and I just wanted to share with you what I did. But right now I'm gonna mix up some cement. We're gonna put it up in the rafter hole up there, and I'm gonna finish the end tower there. But before I do that, I think I've had a change of plans with the other rafters. Many of you guys have mentioned in the comments that the aluminum might not be the right choice for attaching the rafters, and I feel like you could be right. This is the same material, and you can see it's bent and it's been bashed, so it doesn't seem very strong. In addition to that, I've had a look on the inside of the house. Let's just go inside and take a look, and remembered that I haven't actually finished filling in above there, so it's just an empty space. So I think having that space there gives me a bit more flexibility with what I decide to do. So I'm gonna pause on the rafters, give it some more thought, see what's out there as far as attachments, possibly have something made. I don't know, but I don't want to rush into that, especially seeing how crappy this thing is. Well, I was gonna get to work, but first I just want to show you something very cute. I've got a little baby snail on my tripod head. Hello, little guy. Where are you going? What are you up to? It's definitely snail season, and that's why I fear putting things in my greenhouse, because these guys are munching on everything. Come on, little guy, let's put you somewhere safe. Let's go hang out over here with Tracy, the trumpet flower, who is looking pretty good. A little bit shrivelly there, quite luscious there. So she's always dropping and making new flowers, and she's just growing into a beautiful plant. So enough chitter chatter. Let's make some cement and get that rafter in place. So I always do that. It's been raining, the sand is wet, and I didn't take that into consideration when I added the water. So I've got some adjustments to make first, and then we'll stick it in the hole. I've adjusted the cement, or the mortar, or the concrete, or whatever the heck it's called, and I can't imagine watching me stick it into a hole is going to be very entertaining. So here's the before. And there's the after, and this job was a lot more annoying than expected. It took a while longer than expected, as with everything, because the cement's a bit slumpy and it's obviously quite awkward. So that's done for now. I'll get nice stones, repoint everything, put the nice stones there, and finish it all off when I do that. But I want it to cure a little while longer. So I've got the cement. Next up is this guy, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Here's the before. And there's the after, and I'm really happy with it. It's a little wonky, a little bit more wonky than the other one, but I do feel like the water is gonna shed away because of the wonkiness. And something else I wanted to point out, I said on the other post that I thought water had been creeping up. This post has had plenty of clearance, so I actually feel like it wasn't water seeping up at all. It was just the stain kind of coming over the edge, and that's just what the stain made it look like. So I am happy that I made the extra space at the bottom of that post, because it's gonna serve me well in the future. But the good news is it wasn't water sneaking up. So I don't know if you can see, but the rain is coming down, and that's very annoying because I was planning on pointing the front porch, and I was really looking forward to that job, but it does look like it's coming down harder. So this video has already been packed with a bunch of things. I think what I'm gonna do is say goodbye from this one. I'm really happy with what I got done, and I'm gonna save the pointing for another time, because in reality that tower has to cure. I want to clean it off, and if I do that now, it's just gonna slide around everywhere and be terrible. So I've got to get that covered up because the rain's coming down now quite a bit. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of fun stuff in here, and I really pushed forward on the work as well. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.